Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of the America Guns and Freedom Podcast with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. As always, it's just conversation between me and my viewers. If you got any questions, send them over. Otherwise, feel free to talk amongst yourselves in the live chat. Questions don't have to be gun related. I'll still do my best to answer them. If I don't have the answers to a question, pay attention to the live chat. Someone in there will. I'll be glad to give it to you. We're doing things a little different today. Once again, just to let people know. Since we are in the last week of Toy Guns for Tots and we are behind where we need to be, instead of putting a link to the Pets and Vets chat up there, I just put the link to the Toy Guns for Tots giveaway or Toy Guns for Tots fundraiser and the grip giveaway, which is both Toy Guns for Tots. But you can either just donate directly to Toy Guns for Tots or the grip giveaway. Whichever one you want to do. And if you want to get entered into the nightly knife drawing and the monthly silver bullet drawing, you got to do that through the PayPal. No, not PayPal. YouTube super chat tonight. All right. Let's get over here. I like to start the night by reading people who have bought merchandise to help support either our regular programs or Toy Guns for Tots. We got Martin Peterson got the Guns Don't Kill People, especially not 9mm guns, brought to you by the good people at the Council of Save the 40s. And then we got Sean Bain bought an ornament, bought one of the ones you keep for yourself, the metal ornaments for the Toy Guns for Tots. And then Karen McCumsey. Oh my God, these names. McCumsey. Like I said, junior high must have been hell for a lot of you people. They got a Where's the Kaboom? You know, Marvin, where he's looking into where I was making. A lot of people don't realize I'm making fun of Hickok 45 on that with that t-shirt. Because remember, like, oh, I can't get this Colt revolver to work. Because I'm deliberately short stroking the trigger. Because my boss at Bud's Gun Shop is heavily invested in the secondary market for Colt. All right. Let's get to business here. That was it. That was the people who bought merchandise. So thanks to them. If you want to help out, if you want to donate to Toy Guns for Tots right now, you can use the link at the top of the window right there, the top of the chat window. You can go over to my webpage right here. You can see it right there. It's TYMPpistolproject.com. Over there, you can just donate to Toy Guns for Tots if you want. And every time you donate $20, you get an entry into the grand prize, which is the 590 retrograde shotgun with an extra stock with a custom engraved logo on it. You could also just go a little further down and click right there and go buy Toy Guns for Tots merchandise or merchandise to support the channel regularly. But if you want to support Toy Guns for Tots, you can do that there. And if you want to get entered into the Marvin grip giveaway, you can go down just one thing further and you can click right there and donate. Any donation made through there not only goes to Toy Guns for Tots, but if you donate $5, you get one entry into the Marvin grip drawing. If you donate 10, you get 3. If you donate 20, you get 7 entries into the grip drawing, plus you get an entry into the 590 retrograde drawing. So go on over there and help support Toy Guns for Tots. You can also do regular things like become a Subscribe Star member, Patreon member, apply to be a TYMP beneficiary once we get that started back up, or nominate a veteran for motherfucker, I meant to call about that today. Nominate a veteran for Handguns for Heroes. Good God. My brain, if it wasn't, it's mush. My brain is mush. But as I was saying, that's what you can go do. And if you got questions for me tonight, just put them in the live chat. Put them in the live chat, put out the Yankee Marshal in front of them, send them to shooting left to center. Or if you want to donate to Pets and Vets or get entries into the knife drawings, we will definitely do the mini knife drawing no matter what. If you want to get entry in that, $2. If you want to get entered into the full-size knife drawings from Cold Steel, those are, you got to donate $5 and you'll get 3 entries into the little knife drawing. All right. Let me see if Ben Core's got entries into the grips here. No, he did not. He just went through Toy Guns for Tots, so he's not interested in the grip. So I don't need to add him to the list. Let me start and get over to the questions here, see if there's anything coming in. DM Foul says, just blaspheming her boss. What? Just blaspheming her boss. I don't know if I get that one. Yanks looking to get a full-size, double-action, single-action polymer pistol for carry. Really like the CZ P09 F Nocturne. Thoughts? The P09, I think, is what my son got. Isn't that what he got, the P09? The CZ? He really likes it. Although he really wants what I'm carrying right now, my CZ Shadow 2. Which I might let him have after I go back to my revolver once the weather's better. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, you're looking for a full-size, double-action, single-action polymer pistol for carry. Well, CZ is one of the best for that. In fact, they're the go-to for good. Also HK, if you're wanting an H&K. Don't not look at the H&Ks. Those are awesome too, especially like the P30, the P30 SK, and the P2000 SK. All those are pretty fucking awesome. So, but that CZ is what my son got. It's a good gun. Sean Bain said, just listening tonight. Hope his back's not hurting him. That's all you got to do on this channel, though, is really listen. I mean, if you don't watch, what do you miss? Well, you don't get to see me, I guess. That's about it. And when I share pictures from people, that's about it. Boomer, great one, says, do you see any advantage to a 2-inch revolver over 3-inch in a carry revolver over? Does he think we're on walkie-talkies or something? He said over at the end of the sentence. Over. Well, easier to carry. It's smaller. It's lighter. I guess that'd be about it, but not a big advantage. I would rather have the 3-inch myself. I like the way they balance better, etc. So, yeah, I don't really see any big advantages over 2 inches, except that you can get much smaller revolvers in 2-inch. But yeah, other than that, I don't see a real advantage. I'd rather have the 3-inch. It's usually what I go for. I will sometimes go 2.5-inch, but I mean 2.5, 3 inches. That's fine. You're not going to notice anything different between them. Really, you're not even going to notice difference carrying them, and you're definitely not going to notice any ballistics difference. So it's pretty much whichever you prefer. John M. Mandrick asked, "What is the right dessert for Thanksgiving?" We talked about this in the early pre-chat before we started the chat. I don't know myself. Pumpkin pie is definitely the premier Thanksgiving dessert. And it just is. But then there's also pecan pie. There's also sweet potato pie. I just don't like any of those. I don't like pumpkin pie. I used to love pumpkin pie. I don't like it now. I don't know why. As I got older, my taste changed. I just don't care for it now. But I don't like pecan pie. Pecan, we call it pecan in the South. I don't like pecan pie. I don't like sweet potato pie. I like a good chocolate pie, but that's not very Thanksgiving-y. I also like cheesecake. That's not very Thanksgiving-y. Practical Bacon says, what are the most notable foods that you liked, hated, that have changed as you grew up? I guess aged would be a better description. You mean the change is actually the food itself changed, or just my tastes changed as I grew up? I would say the number one that went from I hated it to I like it is rice. I never could eat rice when I was little. It was like maggots. And I had that story with my sister's, doll that you fed and all the maggots that I told everybody. And that put me off rice for my life. So that I always hated rice. I love fried rice now. I like white rice. I like rice, period, now. And as far as foods I used to love that now I hate, well, pumpkin pie is one of them. I used to love pumpkin pie. I hate it now. But one thing that I really used to really like, it was one of my favorite snacks, and my grandmother used to make me little sticks of it all the time, was turnips. I loved raw turnips when I was a kid. But then one night I just happened to be eating raw turnips when I came down with the stomach flu, and I just was sick for days. And ever since then, I could never, ever eat turnips again. Even the smell of turnips now, just bleh. As far as things that have changed how they make them, I'm answering this different ways. Fruit Loops is a big thing. When I was a kid, Fruit Loops were round. They looked like little life preservers. Now they look like someone took a tube and cut it. They're like flat on both sides, and they don't taste the same. They don't have the same texture. They got a different glaze on them, but they used to be round. They actually used to look like a little life preserver, and now they don't. They look like a tube came out and they just chopped it into pieces. I don't know what changed, but it's changed. But they look like little life preservers before. Now they just look like a piece of pipe that you cut off. So those changed a lot. I don't know why. Edgar Cortez chimed in. Hope he don't get me in trouble today. He got me in trouble the other day because people got mad at me for saying that Trump shouldn't be prosecuting people, that he shouldn't be trying to get them to prosecute people. He should keep his nose out of that shit. And people got mad at me. I lost 4 patrons yesterday. People mad, and the only exit interview was about that. The FBI is starting an investigation of the 6 Congress members who released a video recently about the service members not having to follow illegal orders. Seems totally uncalled for me. Your thoughts? Yeah, it's totally uncalled for because, no, you don't follow illegal orders, period. I guess some people have never been in the military because they never taken the oath. Your oath is to the Constitution. And it does say later in your oath, well, if you're an officer. My oath was different as an officer. But when I was enlisted, my oath was different. And it states you will follow the orders of your superior officers and the President of the United States in accordance with, I believe they say, accordance with regulations and the military code of conduct. Meaning that if their orders are contrary to those things, then you don't follow their orders. And in the military code of conduct, it talks in several places about how it is the duty of every soldier to disobey unlawful orders. So there is no question about it, period. I don't remember the exact parts of the code of conduct. I could look it up, but there are several places, and it even specifically mentions some crimes as examples. It's like you cannot be ordered to commit rape, murder, any of these. That lists like 7 or 8 examples. Those would be illegal orders, even if coming from the President of the United States. So you do not follow unlawful orders, period. And it is your responsibility to be able to discern which orders are against the military code of conduct. It also goes on to say any order that would portray the military in a negative light, any order that would cause you to violate local laws, etc., when there was no just cause for advancement to any military procedure to do so. Just there's all kinds of stuff in there about how you don't obey illegal orders, and how if you do, you don't get off the hook just by saying I was ordered to do it. Remember the Nuremberg trials? Just following orders is not a defense when you're given illegal orders. When you're commanded to commit a war crime or to do something against the code of conduct, that is not a defense. So what is the investigation supposed to be about? I mean, all you have to do is look into what the actual oath says, and you'd have to say, well, they're right. But that looks like that catches us up on all the super chats today. We didn't get a ton coming in over here. Let me see if we got any emails. I didn't see any emails earlier. I saw that was Ben Coors. Did Christian Carlson get entries into the grip drawing? Yes, he did. Hold on. Let me write that down. Christian Carlson. I was listening to Carl Carlson on the radio today on the way back from the hospital. What did he do here? He did okay. He's got his entries. Looks like we got a new one coming here. Who's this from? Brian Huff did a nice donation. Did he get entries into the grip drawing or just toy guns? Oh, he got it into the toy guns for tots. Brian Huff. And how many did I give him? Okay. So I think I'm caught up on those. But I got a couple things coming in here. Here's one from who is this? Fire Goozy. He's trying to piss me off, showing me something he got new. And I didn't get nothing new. I didn't even get to go to the gun shop today. I wanted to, but took way too long at the doctor's office. I wasn't expecting to have all them labs and stuff done. Still got a little hole in me here where they poked me. That's a question. Are you one of the people who looks away when they poke you with needles, or do you got to watch? I got to watch. I want to know what you're doing. I don't know what you're poking me with. I got to pay attention. I don't trust you. But here, oops, stop screen. Here is the email from Fire Goozy. He said, did some trading for a new Marlin 1894 SBL in 357. Well, you know that I don't mind. I don't mind so bad that you got that one. Because we already have one of those. It's technically Caden's, but I paid for it. I got it for him as his first rifle. And that's what he chose. I was going to give him an AR or whatever he wanted. He wanted that. So we already got one of them, but that's a nice gun. I will say that. But so you get off a little bit since I already have one, but you're still a cunt because you got one and I didn't. Frank Rodriguez said, turkeys in the Great Salt Lake. I thought this was funny. Utah park officials warn people not to brine their Thanksgiving turkey in the Great Salt Lake. Well, who would do that? What kind of stupid people are like, I want to fill my turkey up with bacteria and all kinds of other stuff that I don't know of. And anything that can live in salt water is going to be pretty nasty. It just don't make sense. I don't know why anybody would do that. That's like, telling people don't defrost your turkeys by sitting them on the engine of a city bus for the day. And just like, who would do it? I guess stupid people would do it. Django, where are you going? Where are you going, Django? All right, now I need to read the names of people today that have donated to Toy Guns for Tots and the grip drawing because I haven't read their names yet. So let's give them a little credit here. Read their names. We got. Oh, wait, did Ben Kors get an entry? Because he didn't the first time. Did he do another one to get entries into the grip drawing? Yes, he did. So let me put Ben Kors on the list because he didn't do it right the first time. I'm going to give him credit for both of his donations because both donations would have gotten him entries. So I'm going to do it as if he combined them so he gets the extra entries. He shouldn't suffer just because he's a little slow. But let's get back over here and read the names of people that have donated today. We got Ben Kors. We got a nice donation from Brian Huff. Christian Carlson. Ben Kors again because he did it wrong first time. Johnny Mandrick. Derek Moritz. Always better to have more its than less, I guess. Tim Fat Salami. Brian Smith. Justin Edmonds. Pipe Dreams. Patrick Montplaisir. I don't know how you say that last name. Plaisir. I don't know how you say that. I'm into yesterday's. So Patrick Montplaisir was the last. So thanks to those people for donating to the Toy Guns Tots drawing and getting entries into the grip draw. Remember, we'll do that at the end of tonight's chat. You got about a half an hour until we run out of stuff to talk about, or until we run out of stuff to talk about to get entries into that if you want to be entered. All right. Let's see where we are. I think I got all the emails. I read all the names. So let's go over to the live chat, see if there's any questions coming in, see if there's anything we can talk about tonight. Did you get your revolver back from the police, and what kind of revolver was it? Boy, you're not paying much attention. I've said 100 times it was a 360 PD from Smith & Wesson. And no, and never will. And don't want it anyway. It got bashed up pretty good on the concrete. So I'm just glad I got away with no charges. So I'm not pushing my luck. Rodimus Abraxas says, I always want to say Rodimus Maximus. It's Abraxas. Hi, Yankee. Yosemite Sam on some KL frame grips, or Mavis on some 1911 grips. Then we had DM Faust telling us that Welper doesn't know who the Bumble is. Oof. I swear, some people. I can't put him in a timeout for it, though. The government will get on me. They make all kinds of rules about how you're allowed to treat these people. You know, you got to have special ramps. You got to provide them with helmets. You got to put padding on sharp corners and stuff when they're around. You can't make fun of them. Was saying I'm a little slow when it comes to cars, not very knowledgeable. Oh, okay. That's what he meant earlier. Because we have a lot of talking before we get the chat started. So if you hear us referring to something from earlier, that means before I started recording the chat. I mean, we're recording, but when I edit it later to post it, I don't. What am I doing this? I don't include that part. That part's just for us. That's our private time. If you want to hear that part, you got to come to the chat live. Then there's that question: are you going to get Christmas photos done? And I don't know what they mean by Christmas photos. Got some of that Mark's red cream soda. Tastes just like Big Red. No, it does not. You are insane. Did you start on my Tomcat grips yet? And yes, it does. No, I did not. I don't know them. I don't even have extra grips for Tomcats. I got the ones that came on my Tomcat. I might do something to that one, to that grip, but I don't have extras. Ooh, what would be good on that? Like a Sylvester or a Heathcliff, or not Garfield. Garfield's a pussy. Who would be a good one? Could put Hobbs on there. He's a cat technically, but like a Sylvester, I think would be really good on it. Like Sylvester the cat on the Tomcat, or Top Cat maybe in the grips, something like that maybe. Do the Yosemite grip in a J-frame, something everyone has. I don't know that everyone has J-frames, although I will say the J-frame was the most successful of the drawings we've done. It's the one most people wanted. Denny's versus IHOP, and what do you get? Well, I don't think I've ever actually eaten at a Denny's. So I can't really speak to them. I mean, we have them here locally. I just have never eaten at one because we have Sherry's here, which is more local. So I eat at that. But I also do eat at IHOP because we don't have Waffle House. If we had Waffle House takes precedent over all of them. But I will sometimes go to IHOP, but usually Sherry's. But I will go to IHOP, and I always just get. I'm really well. The best is local, though. The best is pig and pancake. I always call it pig and poke, but it's pig and pancake restaurants. They're awesome, and they make the best pancakes. So whenever I go there, I get a stack of pancakes, bacon, semi-limp. I don't like crispy bacon. And eggs over medium and white toast. And that's a big plate because they give you a lot of bacon. And their bacon is that big, thick bacon. It's really good bacon. So I get that. I get the occasionally I'll get a side order of biscuits and gravy. But it's usually pancakes and that stuff. But yeah, that's good stuff. But Waffle House is best. But if I go to IHOP or like that, I don't trust their pancakes. Places like that, I don't trust the pancakes, so they fuck them up. And I don't trust the waffles anywhere but Waffle House. So if I go to IHOP, I generally get French toast. Like I'll get French toast, and if they have pork chops, I used to have pork chops. I get the pork chops and the French toast. But now they stopped doing the pork chops, so I started getting the country, what do they call that thing? The country steak or country fried steak, and I get that and a French toast. I spent a lot of time on that question, didn't I? What do you think of the CZ Ramic? You know, I owned one. I didn't like it. It just seemed bulky to me. I mean, it's a good gun, but to me, the proportions were weird because it was like they took a gun and instead of making a small gun out of it, smaller, more rounded off, more carryable, it just looks like they just took it and they said, well, let's cut this much off the front, this much off the grip. And there, bam, it's a gun. The proportions seemed odd to me. So I didn't like it all that much. I sold it, but it's a good gun. If it fits your hands and you like it, then it's definitely a good gun. I just don't care for it. Clinton, Seattle weighed in and says, rumors today that Trump might dump Kash Patel. I guess we'll have to have a pretty dumb blonde FBI director, probably. He likes the hookers for hire. I'll tell you that. The political hookers. He loves those, like that Halligan or whatever her name is. And his people talk about, he gives young girls a chance. Oh, yeah, if they're married to rich elderly people like his press secretary and everything. Otherwise, they got to be like his perfect idea of a woman. But drop Kash Patel. I mean, I don't understand why that guy has a job anyway. What are his qualifications? None that I know of. He always looks like he's as dumb as fucking shit whenever you look him in the face. He can't be as dumb as he looks. Let's just say that. But I don't know what his qualifications are. I ain't seen him do anything that would show he's qualified. His response to anything tragic since he's been in place has been weak at best. So, and then now with the whole, wasn't he involved in the whole, we just cut and paste the Russian demands and try to pretend like it's for American policy? Wasn't he in on that with Rubio? So, yeah, I would say get rid of him. I'm okay with that. Not that I have a say. If he does Yosemite Sam has to do two sets of Yosemite Sam has two guns. No, in the one I got, he's not even got guns in his hands. So, because the ones with the guns in his hands were too wide. I thought toy guns for tots and the grip were the same tonight. No, they're never the same. They go to the same place, but I have made it very clear, like a half dozen fucking times, that when you go to the website, you donate either just to Toy Guns for Tots or the grip giveaway. I said the grip giveaway is also a donation to Toy Guns for Tots, but it's totally separate. Even Welpers figured it out. So you don't get to sit back and play, oh, it's confusing. No, Welper figured it out. So, watched Christmas with the Cranks tonight. I think it rivals Christmas Vacation. I don't know what Christmas with the Cranks is. I've never heard of that in my life. I'm assuming it's animated. Was funny in the USMC, the number of guys that passed out when they saw blood fill in the bag during blood drives. Yeah, I don't get that. It doesn't bother me. Like I said, I got to watch. When they're taking my blood, I want to watch. I want to watch them stick it. I want to watch it go in the tube. I want to make sure they're not taking some for themselves. You know, they're not stealing. And I want to know what they're sticking me with. So they're not slipping in some like heroin and trying to frame me for something. But yeah, I got to watch. And no, it doesn't bother me. Hell, when I was 18, I was roaming through rubble, picking up body parts and bagging them and tagging them. Like a human foot left, human finger unknown, female hand, you know. So I think I can handle blood. How many times have you personally witnessed a woodchuck chucking too much wood? I've never seen a woodchuck chuck too much wood. Because what's too much wood? Because woodchuck will chuck as much wood as they can chuck. They would chuck every bit of wood they can chuck. So I don't think there is too much wood. What happens if a woodchuck chucks too much wood? Is there like a symptom of that? Like, do they have an intervention or something? I don't know. And to be honest, I don't even know if I've ever seen a woodchuck chucking wood. I've seen woodchucks, but I've usually seen them crossing the road. So really haven't really seen them chucking much wood. Where am I? I read that just now, didn't I? I didn't know he had a name. Well, for the Bumble, you didn't know the Bumble? Just when you think you just can't be more disappointed in someone. Patel always has a slightly scared and alarmed look to his face. Yeah, I think part of it's because he's cross-eyed, but the other part is because he doesn't know how to shut his mouth. It's like all the time. I'm like, what are you doing that for? Shut your mouth. Something's going to fly. Like my grandfather used to say, something's going to fly in there. So shut his mouth. What's he doing? Did you ever eat at Shoney's? Yes, I ate at Shoney's all the time when I was a kid. Well, not all the time. We didn't go out to eat all the time, but yes, we ate at Shoney's. That was the one sit-down restaurant we had in our town. It was Shoney's at the end of the bridge over there, and it's not there anymore. But the chicken fingers, I loved their chicken fingers. I'd go to Shoney's and get the chicken fingers and be so happy. I liked Shoney's, and we had a Shoney's in Huntsville, Alabama when I first moved there too, and I would eat there occasionally. We'd go there. The Shoney's in Huntsville, Alabama was open all 24 hours on Saturday or Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. So ate a lot of 3 a.m. meals at that Shoney's, especially when I'd work security at a bar, and then I would go out and eat afterwards. You know, you eat a lot of 3 a.m. meals at the Shoney's because bars closed at 2 there. The Great Salt Lake is the muddiest beach I have ever been to, and it's covered in flies. Yeah, it is covered in flies. I don't know why anybody would dip their turkey in that. I don't know why people brine turkeys anyway. It doesn't really do much, but 5 miles up the road from me, 4 men who tried to break into a home were met with gunfire, and that one of them was killed by the homeowner. Well, hopefully they were actually trying to break in, not just someone turning around in the driveway or knocking on the door, like we've seen a lot of lately. I'm trying to keep enough questions and stuff going here so that we don't have to leave early. Because I'm trying to give people time to get into the drawing for the grips, but we are running out of shit to talk about, just so you know. When Dad was stationed in Vegas, he was crashed aircraft recovery, scrapping people paced out of desert. Not Vegas, but another desert, Washougal. I was in a plane crash in Washougal. Well, it wasn't a crash. We didn't crash. We did a forced landing, no landing gear landing in the desert, and it was not fun, and we survived. So, you know, that Sully guy who landed a plane on a lake or on the river, well, at least he had a river. The guy that saved us, he landed us in the fucking desert, skipped us along with no front landing gear. So, that talk about scary. I think that might be why I'm afraid to fly. Well, no, I was afraid to fly before that, but I'm really afraid now. Scraping people paste out of the desert, he said. I didn't know chickens had fingers. I thought they were talons. I don't know. Apparently they got fingers because they're good. I've never seen fingers on a chicken, but the chicken fingers are good. I like them a lot. The Shoney's ones were really good. Did you ever eat at Friendly's? No, I've never even seen a Friendly's. They're famous for their ice cream as well as their food. I've never even seen a Friendly's. Now, I used to have a Portland ice creamery here in Portland that I like to go to. They had some great desserts, but and there's also a place over in Beaverton. I don't know if it's still there. They got good food and good desserts, and it was called, it's an Indian word. It's Till I Come, Tillikum, Till I Come, but it's an Indian word. But there's a restaurant named that Till I Come In or something. I think it's the Till I Come In. Yeah. Is there one pistol and one long arm that is especially sentimental to you? No, not really. You would think the ones I inherited would be sentimental to. I guess now I would say yes. The pistol is the one I have that belonged to my stepfather who passed away. Of course, I bought it for him, but I've got two guns that belong to him, two Rugers that belonged to him before he passed. So those are very sentimental to me. So those matter to me. Now, you would think the ones that I inherited from like my grandfather would, but he didn't like them. He didn't want them. I don't associate him with him at all. They just passed down. So those ones from my stepdad, but none of the rifles that I have any sentimental attachment whatsoever. I have an old shotgun that was given to me by my father-in-law, but I don't think I have really any sentimental attachment. I'm not a person who gets sentimentally attached to many things. To me, things are just things. And I just don't really get, like, even if I got them from somebody else. Now, I do be like, well, I can't get rid of that. It was a gift. I don't get rid of gifts. But as far as like, oh, that's so important to me, it belonged to this person. Nah, it was just a thing that they had that I have now. It doesn't mean that much to me. I don't understand sentimentality all that much. It might be the autism, but sentimentality is something that it doesn't ring true to me. I just don't I don't have it. I don't know what it is, but I don't have it. I mean, I can associate things like, oh, I like that because it reminds me of this person. But if I didn't have that, I'd still remember that person. So it's not that big a deal. Target fixation pilots fixated on target flying straight into the ground. Well, you're not supposed to do that. Have you had pickled pig's feet? Yes. Very hard to find anymore. I haven't had them since I was a kid. Well, when I was a kid, we used to have them on the counter. My grandfather had a big jar of pickled pig feet. And they were in the bars a lot of times because back when I was a little kid, I'd go to the bar with my grandfather. He'd take me to the NCO club because he, had to watch me and he wasn't going to not drink. So we'd go to the NCO club and I'd sit in the NCO club with him for hours, bored out of my mind. But they had pickled pig's feet in the big jars on the counter. So every night he'd get me a pickled pig's foot and a pickle. They had the great big pickles. So that's what he'd do to keep me quiet for a while. Do you have TCBY yogurt out in Washington or Oregon? We were talking about them today in the car because one of the commercials for the 80s channel was talking about TCBY being a sign of the 80s. They were so popular. And I was like, I don't know if they weren't where I was at because we didn't have any. We had no such, I didn't even know they really existed. And I don't know if we have them here locally or not. I don't even know if there's still a chain, I guess. But we have it's called Mincy's. I call it Mincy's. It's actually Minchies, but I call it Mincy's. But that shit's just as bad for you as ice cream. But I do kind of like it better than ice cream sometimes in some ways. But I'd rather just have Dairy Queen ice cream. So instead of when I figured out Minchies is just bad for you as ice cream, I'll just go Dairy Queen. I think we are about out of questions here. Make sure I've got all the people entered into the TCBY yogurt was popular in the East and the Midwest. Well, it wasn't popular where I was at. Let's just say that. I was mid-Atlantic, I guess, where I was at. All right, let me make sure I got all the entries to the grip drawing accounted for. I'm going to read the name again for the people who got entries into the grip drawing. If you use the wrong thing, make sure you let me know as soon as possible. And we'll get the list going here. All right, we've got on our list of people who have donated to the grip drawing: David Stem, Jeff Diamond, Craig Wilcox, Jeff Beeson, Steve Oberg, Andrew Avila, Johnny Mandrick, Matt Johnson, Michael Rogana, Pipe Dreams, Brian Smith, Tim Fat Salami, Derek Moritz, John Mandrick again. I guess he got entries last night and today. Christian Carlson, Brian Huff, and Ben Coors. If you think you should be on that list that you're not, let me know, because you probably didn't use the right link. So I'll give you a couple minutes to let me know. Send me an email at, let me close Clit's chat here so you can see. She sent me an email to shootingleftcenter@gmail.com. If you think you should be on that list and you're not, you used the wrong button, and I'll make sure you get you on there before we do the drawing in a minute. Let's see here. I think that's it for all the questions and everything. I don't see. Oh, wait, I got an email here. Overall, how do you like your Bobcat? Thoughts on the 32 ABC? Would you carry? Did I say ABC? ACP. Would you carry? Worth owning? Yes, I would carry, because I have carried it many times. It's so easy to carry. It's so small. It's easy to hide. So yeah, wait, he said Bobcat. I thought he said Tomcat. The Bobcat I wouldn't carry. It's 22. I mean, I guess if I didn't have anything else, I'd carry it, but I'd rather not carry a 22. But I'll tell you, I thought I would hate that gun when I took it out and tested it before giving it away, because I don't have a Bobcat anymore. I got the Tomcats now. I got 2 Tomcats right there, but no Bobcat. It was so much fun to shoot that gun. I was so surprised at how fun that gun was to shoot as a 22. And I definitely wouldn't want to get shot with it. So if it was what I had, I was going to. If there's only a small gun I had to carry that I could easily conceal, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't feel like, oh no, I'm going to get murdered because I've only got a 22. But it was definitely a fun gun. I'll say that. I really enjoyed shooting it. But I gave it away. All right, let's do the knife drawing before we get started. Let me see, did we get enough? We didn't get quite enough people for the knife drawing, but we'll do it anyway. So we'll do the tiny knife, the full-size knife first, and then the tiny knife. Okay, full-size knife first. Let's count here. TCBY was originally abbreviated for This Can't Be Yogurt, but was changed to the country's best yogurt in 1984 after a lawsuit from a competitor with, wasn't it like Can't Believe It's Yogurt or something like that? I don't remember. I remember it being changing their name. All right, let me get over here and count the entries. 1, 2, 3. Shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then he got 7. So that's 12 total. 6 people, 12 total. All right. I got to generate a number between 1 and 12. Hold on. Tragedy when you can't go on. Let's see here. Random number generator. Between 1 and 12. And the number is. So the winner for the full-size knife is Edgar Cortez. I think that's right. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, Yes, and then he gets 7 for where he. So yes, Edgar Cortez. That's for the regular full-size knife. Now let's do for the tiny knife. Between 1 and, I mean, I got it for the tiny knife, you would get 3 for every $5. So I got to multiply it by 3. No. Yes, 3 for every $5. All right. So 36. I think I did it yesterday by 7, but and the winner of the tiny knife, I think it's the last of my tiny little knives, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 8. Let me try this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's Boomer Great One. I don't know who that is. Boomer Great One. Let me write these down before I forget them, and then we'll do the grip drop. No one sent me anything saying they're not on the grip list, what they should be, so I think we're okay on that. But let me write down the knife winners. 25 November 25. Big knife is Edgar Cortez. 25 November 25. Little knife is, who was it? Boomer Great One. I don't know who that is, since they fucked with the names. All right, got those wrote down. Let me check one more time at the last minute here to make sure we don't got nothing coming in that needs to get an entry or says they should have had an entry but don't have an entry. Let's see. What made us okay? What? I don't know what's going on. All right, let's make sure we're all caught up there. We are. We're caught up over on the web page. Come on, web page, catch up. Yes, everything is fine over there. Everything is. Nobody has sent me any email saying they should be on the list, but they're not. So let's do the drawing for the Marvin grips. All right, I got to hold on. Let me add these up on my calculator. Or my calcusooner. Close. Ooh, the battery's low. I got to plug it in. Let me add all these up. Plus 3 plus 1 plus 7. 7 equals. Okay, and that may generate a random number. I think we might have made a profit off these grips too. Let's see. 7 for every 20. So divide 1 by 7. Let's see. Divided by 7. Yeah, I think we made a profit off this. So yay. And the winner is, generate the number. The winner is Brian Huff. Brian Huff. Let me bold his name so I won't miss it. Okay, there's the winner on that one. That was the Marvin grips. Who won? I think it was David Calderon, wasn't it? Yes. He's supposed to be sending me some grips to make custom for him. Okay, so we gave away the big ones. We gave away the... All right. That's it. We're done. So thanks, everybody, for coming tonight. I do appreciate it. If you haven't donated yet to Toy Guns for Tots, please go over and do so. We only got a few more days left. And the new grips will be up on the website here in just, well, hell, I'll put them up there right now. Hold on. Let me get over here to the Wix page. And I want you all to go over and, oh, wait a second. Let me change this to the right date. There we go. All right. Now go over right now to the page and tell me if the grips are showing properly. Tell me which ones are showing and that they're showing the right date for the drawing and the right name for the grips. So someone go do that real fast and then let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the live chat. And then we'll get out of here. But like I was saying, thanks everyone for coming. I appreciate it. I will see y'all again tomorrow once we get someone let me know it's over there now. Let's see who gets there first. Come on, who can get there first? You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Who can tell me first whether it's over there or not? I am seeing the Millennium Falcon. Good. Okay. That's the right grips. All right, everybody. Those are the ones. I like the way the little whooshies, it makes it look like he's bending space. But thanks, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it. Thanks, everybody, for supporting the programs, especially Toy Guns for Tots and everything else. I will see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again. And go get entries into the Millennium Falcon grips. Please hit that like button and share this video on whatever social media you have. Since this is a restricted channel, you're the only chance we have to overcome YouTube's anti-2A bias and discrimination.